If you are creating Pinterest pins that are getting impressions but they are not getting clicks, then this video is for you. The first step is understanding the problem. And if you are getting impressions but you're not getting the traffic, then you likely don't have a pin design problem exactly, you have a conversion problem. And today I'm walking you through my exact strategy for creating high converting Pinterest pins. And this is the same framework that I use for my Pinterest pin management clients when they are getting some traffic but they want more of it. Now the first thing you need to do is start with search, not design. So many bloggers, when they are creating Pinterest pins, they start in Canva. But when I start in Pinterest with the search feature. Because Pinterest is a search engine, not a social media site. So before I ever create a pin, I'm going to ask myself, what is the exact keyword for this blog post that I'm targeting? What problem is the reader actively searching for? And what stage of awareness are they in? For example, a beginner is searching for how to start a blog, but an established blogger is searching for how to increase blog traffic. Those are two different problems and they need two different blog posts to solve them. So if I am creating a blog post on how to start a blog, I need to make sure that that search intent is clear on my Pinterest pin. If your blog post in that example is targeting mid-level bloggers, but your pin says a beginner tutorial, then you are attracting the wrong click, which is going to lower your conversions, aka your clicks. So the first thing you should be doing each week when you start creating pins is do a little bit of keyword research for the blog post. And then you can work out which title is going to attract the exact audience that you're looking for. Now, I personally keyword research all of my blog posts up front, and I keep them in a keyword research doc that I created in Google Sheets, so that way I don't have to do this exact same thing every single week. And I create one of these docs for every single client that I work with and myself as well. And if you would much prefer I do all of this work for you, I am signing on Pinterest management clients right now, so if you're interested in something like that, I will leave a link down below in the description. Step 2 is to craft your pin headline. Once you do all of the keyword research, now you need to have a good clickable headline. Your pin title is going to be way more important than your pin design. So high converting pins usually call out a specific person. They call out a specific outcome, or they call out a specific pain point. Instead of something vague like a title 5 Pinterest traffic tips, I would use something like how to increase your blog traffic using Pinterest. Instead of something like using Pinterest for blog growth, I would use something more eye-catching like how to get 20K page views a month using Pinterest. Specific titles like that are going to convert better than something vague. But on the flip side, you could create titles that are a bit vague, but they pique the interest. You basically want to have the pinner look at your title, look at your pin, and go, I have to learn more. So for example, you could do something like nobody talks about this Pinterest mistake, or the real reason why your blog traffic is stuck. So these titles are a little bit more vague, but they are the right kind of vague that's going to get enough intrigue and interest where people are still going to want to click on it. Now, step 3 is you want to design for clarity and not creativity. Because while the design is less important than the keyword research and the title, you still need to make sure you have that down if you want to get more traffic from Pinterest. So your pin design should be readable on mobile and desktop. Remember, there's a lot of pins on the feed and they are very small, so your pin design needs to be readable and clear. It should have one clear message, and it should be using a strong contrast for things like their colors. And you also want to avoid clutter. If someone cannot read your Pinterest pin in half a second while they're scrolling, they are going to keep scrolling and you are going to lose that conversion. There is a lot of content on the platform for people to take in, so you want your design to stand out. And most Pinterest traffic comes from mobile. So that means you're going to want to have large, bold text, minimal words on your pin, no thin script fonts, and no super overcrowded layout. If someone has to squint to read your design, you have already lost them. And the test that I use is zoom out about 25% in Canva until your design is tiny, and if it still comes across the way that you want it, you can still read it, then that is probably a good design that you can use. Step 4 is to think in systems, not single pins. One pin is not going to grow your blog, but consistency and a strategic strategy will grow your blog. So for every blog post, you should be creating multiple pin versions, not just one pin and then you never pin that blog post again. You need to be doing multiple. And you want to be testing different headlines. You never know what's going to work on Pinterest, so you want to be testing a lot. You also want to target different keyword angles because one keyword might be hard to rank for, but another one might be a lot easier to rank for, and it might resonate better with your audience. And then you want to track what is driving the clicks, not just the impressions. You don't want to really be focusing on impressions because while those are good, if your conversion rate is low, it doesn't really matter how many people are seeing your pin if they are not clicking through. So make sure you are tracking what exactly drives clicks. And this step is where most bloggers plateau. They usually create a few pins, maybe they'll see a little bit of traffic, maybe they won't, and they're going to get frustrated and they're going to stop pinning because they think it's not working. But Pinterest rewards consistency over time. And you need to keep testing in order to figure out what your audience is going to resonate with and what Pinterest is going to push out. And since I am a Pinterest manager, I have had the luxury of testing hundreds of different pin designs across hundreds of different accounts. So personally, I know what works with most niches that are out there on Pinterest. And since I do know that, I can hone in on what I already know is working in what specific niche, and I can get results a lot faster than most people, which is why people come to me for the Pinterest management instead of trying to test and fumble and figure it out themselves. But if you don't want to go with a Pinterest manager, then it means you need to give yourself a little bit of grace because you are going in blind. You have no idea what is going to click with your audience, what is going to attract more clicks. So you need to do a lot more testing before you can find out what is actually working. But I also recommend doing some research. Look up some keywords in your niche and see what types of pins are ranking. I guarantee you they're going to look pretty similar. So find out what's working in your niche already if you don't want to work with somebody like me to do the work for you, and go with whatever style is already working. And then of course test out your own as well, because you never know what is going to work. But it's a good idea to look up a few keywords and see what is working and start there. Now, here's what I see happening a lot. Bloggers get to a point where they know Pinterest works and they don't want to ignore it, but they don't feel like managing it. Because it takes a lot of research and testing and tracking and refining your strategy before you find something that actually works. And if you're already running a blog that's monetized, or you're doing a 9-to-5 and you're trying to monetize your blog, that is a lot of work that you might not want to put into Pinterest. So your highest return on investment is probably not creating pins, it is creating content. Which is why many bloggers tend to outsource Pinterest management. It's not because they can't handle it, it's because they don't want to manage the system, which is where my Pinterest services come in. Most people come to me because they're tired of managing their own account and they want to focus on things that they are interested in or that is going to bring in more money. And in the process, I not only manage and maintain their accounts, but I grow them as well. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to check out the link down below in the description with all the details on my Pinterest management. But if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You can turn Pinterest into long-term traffic if you are serious about refining and maintaining and managing a strategy until you find what converts. But don't give up, and if you want more help from me right here on YouTube, check out this video right here on how to boost Pinterest traffic in 4 easy steps. Make sure to like if you like, subscribe to my channel down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!